Welcome to the webinar that is following the Core Organic Network call in 2024, launched at the end of November. The call is dedicated to Early Career Research Mobility Grant. It's for next year, 25-26. And we offer this short webinar in order to address any questions that you might have. My name is Ivana Trkulja. I work at International Center for Research in Organic Food Systems. We are based in Denmark at Aarhus University, and I'm part of the call team. I hand over a word to my colleague, Frederick, also that he presents himself as we are working together on this call. Please, Frederick.
Yeah, thank you, Ivana. My name is Frederik Drom, and I am student assistant here at ICRAF. Been here for quite a while, and I've been helping out organizing this call and writing the call text for this. And I will be part of handling some of the applicants received.
Thank you very much, Frederick. I think we can go to the next slide that explains the content of the webinar and organization of the webinar. So warm welcome. We would address all the sections of the call text. You've probably seen the call text already. And we will take questions or clarification points after each of the sections, because some are a little bit detailed, so we might forget by the end of the webinar what the question was. So we take them step by step, and then we also offer at the end of the webinar maybe some remaining points to be taken. You can raise your hand or you can write in the chat if you have any questions or clarification points. The webinar will be recorded and available online, and also the call text is available on the section of the Core Organic website. What is the Core Organic program? This is maybe not your primary preoccupation, or it's not the most important subject in the sense of knowing in details about the program. But I think it could be useful to know a little bit more, because you will be addressing some of the research teams that this program has supported for many years. The acronym for Core Organic is Coordination of European Transnational Research in Organic Food and Farming Systems. The program started in 2004, and it's 20th anniversary of the program. And that is also the reason why program has decided, or it's our anniversary, where we want to give this opportunity for early career researchers with the present call, also to address some of the topics that the Core Organic program has supported for a number of years. It has evolved gradually, so it was not a program that was launched for 20 years, but there was a Core Organic 1 edition, then Core Organic 2, and up to the more recent Core Organic Co-Fund editions and Core Organic Pleiades edition that is currently running edition of this program. It is a cooperation. The program is a network, and it is a cooperation among the ministries in European context. So ministries of agriculture or ministries of science, they use the national funding for organic research, and then they pull this national funding into the common pot and launch big transnational calls. The website that you will address with the archive of research teams, it reflects all the transnational projects that were funded in these 20 years according to this model of using national funds and then having a transnational cooperation. So it's around 62 million euros that were dedicated to this. We are addressing Core Organic Co-Fund countries, so that's, I think, just for you. We will come back to it, but in these different program periods, not always all the countries are the same. So the Core Organic Co-Fund budget is used for this action, and we will address the countries that are in that context. Maybe we move to the next slide to see. So this is already, I think, hands-on. What does the grant offer? It's to support you with internship or short-term research visit. It supports project focusing on organics and agroecology or agroecology. You are able to visit institution of your choice to gain experience and work with other researchers or professionals that could support your research interest. Financial support is planned as a maximum of 10,000 euros for a minimum 3 months of stay or longer. So in case you can have a stay that is longer, but you still use 10,000 euros or have other funds, that's also fine. For us, this is what the grant offers as within the core organic frame. We welcome all disciplinary backgrounds for this mobility grant, and it is a competitive grant, so the final decision will be taken by core organic grant committee. Before we move on, are there any questions on what has been said? I don't see any hands up or any questions in the chat, but please feel free as we move on to address us in the chat. Thank you. I think we can then go to the section 2. Section 2 is related to key requirements for this application in the mobility grant, and this is also eligibility criteria. So we will, when you send your application, we will check these elements and consider your application eligible for further evaluation and selection or not eligible. So please pay attention to these parameters, because most of them are must. So must in a sense of academic qualification, be full-time master or PhD student at the time of application, must be maximum 35 years old at the time of application. And then we have a number of core organic co-fund countries that are eligible in this call. You can see the list: Austria, Belgium, both Flanders and Wallonia, Bulgaria, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, Latvia, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Romania, Switzerland, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and Turkey. So it's not say only EU member states or accession countries, or it's a blend of different countries that were funding research in core organic co-fund, organic food and farming research, and permanent residents or citizens in this country can apply and are eligible for this mobility grant. What is the idea of this mobility? The mobility can happen within the country, so you change the institution. For instance, you are Austrian citizen or permanent resident in Austria, and you want to have your mobility grant by moving to another institution in Austria. That is possible. Or you visit another country covered by the core organic program. So we have given this option because sometimes we have quite large countries or countries where there are many institutions that are available. So we didn't limit mobility only to cross-country experience, but we also offer this interinstitutional mobility. You will precise this in your application. We have some more eligibility criteria. The host institution must be in one of the included countries, so please pay attention to this. There is Annex A that explains what kind of hosting institutions you can have. Applicants must obtain agreement of the host institution that is willing to apply to have you as applicant. So when you apply, you would already have the letter from the hosting institution, and that's explained in Annex B what kind of content this letter will have. we already mentioned that the financial support is a maximum 10,000 euros and duration of visit is 3 months without interruptions. Envisaged period for the visit is 1st of April. This is allowing us time for selection process and for application process. And it is 1 year until 1st of April 2026. Now, there is also, as I mentioned, mobility visits fall into the remit of core organic research areas and topics. And there is an archive on core organic website where you can see which areas are these. I think we have some following slides that explain what the annexes are and what are the research areas. So you can see here, this is an archive of all 60 plus projects that Core Organic has founded in this 20 years. So they range from circular bioeconomy in different plant production projects, animal production project, human health, also projects related to food processing like a future organic consumer, mixed farming, nature and biodiversity. So this is, I think, possibility for you to familiarize and explain which area you would plan to support. You can also find maybe interesting information at the organic e-prints. Usually this is a depository, it's an open access archive where projects from Core Organic and many other international research efforts have placed their scientific publications. So it's one of the biggest, or I would say the biggest organic related open access archive that we had in international context. Feel free to access and familiarize yourself with both and select the area where you think you are contributing primarily. I think the next one is Annex A. This is a list of possible host institutions, just to give you a hint that we are happy to have your application where you visit another public research performing organization or public university, private university, research institutions, research institutes, or stations of a sectoral relevance. That could be public project management agencies. In some countries, they are called in this manner, federal offices. So it could be more ministerial type as a ministries, or also intergovernmental organizations. It could be the European Commission or some more specialized thematic agencies. NGOs of a sectoral relevance are also welcome. Annex B, I think we have, this is the template how your host institution should describe your visit. So it's important that is on official letterhead of this institution with your name, your address and degree, so that it reflects what your profile it is, and then a little bit of description of where you will be hosted, the unit that will hosted, some expectations from the hosting institution, what you will be doing during your visit, and the time frame, of course, of a mobility visit, the dates. Do we have any questions? I think this was many must aspects. Is there anything that you would wish to ask? Maybe that is quite clear. I see no hands, no questions in the chat. So please, we can then proceed with the sections on Frederick on required documents for application. I hand over to you. I think you will be also in charge and responsible for this area. So please, floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ivana. So sending in the applications, for us to process them, it would require that they are all written in English and they are merged into one singular PDF file with a maximum capacity of 3 megabytes and then sent to us. And who us is will be mentioned later on. Is personally, it's me and also one from the secretariat called Jannik Rapsten. And also in this application, you should send in a letter of support from your host institution, which should include some information about the planned mobility and envisaged activities, and also a time frame, which Bernard just described. You also require your curriculum vitae, specifying who you are, and also a motivation letter. It specifies your reason behind the application and on a more personal plan, and how you might have some expected benefits for this career. Also, we like your research project description. This is more about emphasizing how your research aligns with previous research and why it's relevant. And also some reasonable calculations about your expected expenses, including accommodation, travel, and subsistence. And this should be in a table overview for us to better handle. And also require a copy of certificate of the highest academic degree, being that a bachelor, master's, or PhD, and that it's allowed to be in your national language. We just need a translation of the academic title in the curriculum vitae. And of course, if you are able to get a letter of reference from a supervisor, it will be an asset. And this is in relation to the guidelines for the project description. We would like to know more about how this grant will enhance your skills or knowledge, and also a bit why you are passionate about the organic sector or agroecology. And of course, why this project is relevant in terms for the overall organic sector and also agroecology if needed. And as Ivana mentioned earlier, the evaluation criteria will be reviewed by the Core Organic Grant Committee. We're using all the applications sent to us, this curriculum vitae and motivation letter, and also research project description. And each application will be evaluated using scores from 0 to 5 against the criteria mentioned here. That will include the qualification and the motivation of the applicants, meaning you. Also the value of the visit. Why is this important for you? What do you expect to get out of it? And also why they are compatible with the core organic research areas and topics. And you should see the archive there to see the themes. And it's important to mention that the selection criteria will be allocated to 80% for the research and organic sector and then 20% for research in agroecology. Is there any questions related to the selection process and evaluation criteria? Yeah, Rafael, feel free to turn on your microphone or write in the chat.
Yes, please, Rafaela.
Yes, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I just wanted to clarify something. You say that one needs like proof of the diploma, and that a PhD diploma is possible to send in, but in the previous requirements, it also says that you should be a full-time PhD student. Like, can you apply even though you've just graduated?
In that case, you send your master's diploma because that is your diploma that you have finished and you document that you are a full-time PhD student. Of course, you don't have diploma if you are carrying out your research on PhD level. So your diploma from the previous highest degree that you have at documenting your current degree level.
Okay, but you can't apply if you're above PhD level.
we didn't expect, I mean, this is for master's and PhD, full-time PhD level. It's not for postdoc level.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Well, this is a table of the timeline of the call. And if you're aware of we're currently in December and we're holding this webinar, which means you have roughly a month and a half to finish your applications and submit them. After that, the selection process will begin and you will get your notification letters by the start of March. We have a point called dissemination activities during the mobility visits, and we should just schedule as monthly updates. And this is something that we mutually will talk to you about, all the applicants, like what do you expect in terms of dissemination and when do we expect them. And then we also require you to do some reporting about a month after the end of your visit. The end. Any questions about the timeline? Or maybe Ivana have something to elaborate?
Thank you, Frederick. I think that the only addition to the timeline could be that the announcement of the call is falling in December, which maybe is a closing of the year and a period where people have attention to other activities. So if we see that with the following re-advertisements of on social media or through other channels of the call, we would need to have another webinar and have more in-depth exchange, maybe mid-January with applicants. We might announce this on our website or on social media. So that could be an addition, because today we are a very small community, and if we see that there is a need for additional explanations, that could be something additional, but all the documents will be available with no changes in the sections of Core Organic website that were already announced. Thank you. Thank you, Frederick.
Thank you, Ivana. Yeah. This is just the contact person of the organic call of this grant. And as mentioned, all the application must be submitted per email directly to me with a copy to Jannik Krabsen from Secretariat. If you have any questions regarding this call following this meeting, you also are to send them to me directly, and then a copy to Ivana. And we will try to answer you quickly as possible. And that is all for us. So thank you for your kind attention. And of course, if you have any closing questions, we would like to answer them.
Thank you very much, Frederick. We are very keen on having support for researchers, early career researchers working in organics and agroecology. There are not that many transnational opportunities. And I think the innovation in the sector is needed, research innovation. Please feel free to share this with your fellow colleagues and give us a hint also if you think that we should announce it somewhere. If we should share this information on maybe some websites or somewhere where you as a researcher in organic context have interest to follow news, or Other than this, I think from my side also, thank you. And if there are any last questions, open your microphone freely and please ask. Maybe I can mention the question that Rafaela had in the chat, because this will be recorded, so maybe this is interesting. There is a question of being maybe in the phase that a doctoral student or maybe master student has defended their thesis, but you still remain formally enrolled in your program. I think to our perception, you are still full-time PhD student if you can document that you are part of a research institution and that you still have your contract and being part of the program where you have worked. We will consult also other grant committee members on this, but as a first impression, I see really no problem, because you are documenting that you are still employed within the PhD program where you have worked and maybe also gained your PhD, but still remain with it at the moment of application. I don't see that there are other questions. Frederick, you also?
Yeah, there are no questions in the chat.
Okay. So I think that we can stop recording the session. Thank you very much.